My name is Dr. Ernie Bowling. I'm the Chief Optometric Editor of Optometry Times, and I'm here this morning with Dr. Leslie Odell, who's on our advisory board and is also the director of the Dry Eye Center of Pennsylvania. Leslie, I'd love for you to tell us about some of the posters that you're presenting here at ARVO this week.
Well, thanks first for having me. This has been a really exciting ARVO, as I have two posters, one that I'm a lead author and then one that I'm the second author on. So the first poster that I presented was about cosmetics and how they relate to ocular surface disease. And really there's not a lot of information out there, so we're really trying to raise awareness and start the process of getting this something that people are paying attention to. Our first bit of research we did showed that there was a big disconnect between eye care providers and patients, with almost 85% of the patients saying that there's never even been the conversation with their eye care provider as to what they're doing with eye makeup specifically. So this poster focused a little bit more on the habits of the consumer. We had a survey online that was sent out through Twitter and other social media as well as email, and we had 253 respondents. Most were women, but I think there were 3 men that responded. Of that group, there was about 40% were contact lens wearers, and we had 26% with known environmental allergies. And what we found was that for the patients, we used the speed and the UNC to help grade the survey, or the symptoms rather. Our average speed was 8 and the average UNC was 3. So really kind of on the mild mark of symptoms. But what we found was that for the patients or the women, the consumers removing their makeup daily, there was more comfort, and that was statistically significant than the ones that were maybe sleeping in their makeup more than a night or two. So maybe not so surprising to us, but interesting to learn the habits, and definitely shows that we have to continue looking at that, you know, for future research.
I thought it was interesting that I didn't realize that I thought that was something you took off every night. I thought that was just a habit. And when I read it, it's like, wow, people don't take it off, just like not brushing their teeth. So interesting. Tell us about the other one. Tell us about yours.
And so the other poster, Claire Halloran was actually the lead author on, but it's really exciting new research too about Demodex. And what we did was, we wanted to look at Demodex to see if there was any effect on the meibomian gland structure as it related to atrophy of the glands and even tortuosity of the glands. And so we used the Pult scale for looking at atrophy and the Halloran scale to look at tortuosity. Of this group, we had 14 patients who had Demodex that we found, and we found Demodex based on epilation. So we had 7 centers that were looking for patients across the country and Canada, and so 14 of the patients had Demodex noted on epilation of 2 lashes and microscopic evaluation, and 7 patients who did not. Of the group with Demodex, the average age was 54, and for the patients without the Demodex, it was an average age of 34, which kind of goes with what we know about increasing age and prevalence. But what we didn't find was a correlation in symptoms between the groups using speed and UNC. So both the patients with Demodex and without had the same symptoms using speed and UNC, and we didn't find any change in the meibomian gland architecture with regard to atrophy or tortuosity. Interesting though, we found that there was a change in the ethnicity of patients, with the Hispanic group having more tortuosity. So definitely something that we want to look more into as far as gland changes in different ethnic populations. And then in thinking about meibomian gland dysfunction that is coinciding with things like Demodex infestation, since it's not something that's causing atrophy, maybe it's causing more of an obstructive disease, because what we did note is that cylindrical dandruff was present in all of the patients that we had noted mites in. So that definitely is your slit lamp clue still to figure out if you have that infestation.
Sure. Great research being done by one of our favorite optometrists. Thanks for coming and spending some time with us.
Well, yes, thank you so much.